Hi, this is Miss Bockover, and I am recording discussion board number 3. So to answer the first part, the required question, in what ways could you vary your instruction to ensure you are reaching all of the various learning styles you may have in your classroom? So when we took Sec 510, we talked a lot about differentiated instruction with Dr. Allison Jones. So I have a new perspective on how important it is to make sure that you're teaching to reach all of your students and not just the majority of the population. So she stressed the importance of how this goes beyond individual education plans and special modifications for English language learners. So it means being mindful of your students' strengths and weaknesses and knowing what they need, what they're good at, maybe what they could use help on, and then providing that help when needed. There's pitfalls to it though, so you want to make sure that you're not giving them so much help that they become reliant on it or that they abuse it. You want to make sure that you're giving them just enough so that they can show their mastery of the information, but not so much that they're becoming dependent on it. So you have to slowly take away those scaffolds and aids so that the student can learn to be without them. On top of that, so as a science teacher, labs are super hands-on, and I hope to use as many as I can because I think that's one of the best ways that we learn is by doing things. I know that's not for everybody, so we'll do other things like typical lectures and readings and research and what can you figure out on your own. But doing different labs in science will really help reinforce the topics. Like, for example, I'm working on my lesson plan right now, and we're doing the different phases of mitosis. So I hope to be able to do a lab about that so that they're not only just looking at diagrams, but they can see it in actual cells. Along with this, when I do my lecture lessons, I know the importance of incorporating multimedia and different activities into them. So is there a video that could show it better than maybe me just talking about it? Are there pictures that are really good? Also, I have a desire to be able to show or to be able to teach my students how to read a research article because going into college that was something that I was never taught to do, so I didn't know how to do it, and it's a struggle for me. So I'd like to be able to teach my students how to do that, and I think it could be a conjunction on how to like an aid of how to write a lab report if we read an actual lab report. Also, along with multimedia and different activities into the lesson, I hope to incorporate frequent opportunities for formative assessment. So I want the students to be able to assess, okay, how are you doing? And I need to be able to assess, okay, how are they doing? Like, what do we need to hit again? They can be as easy as asking the students a question about it, like specifically asking them to show me what they know, and if they can't quite do it, help them through it and help them realize maybe where they went wrong or what they need to read again or look at again or study a little bit harder. They could be entrance tickets or exit tickets, but really I'm just a fan of doing them whenever, and I check with my students to make sure, okay, did you get what we talked about today? Do you know the main points? Maybe they can't go into great detail, but after a couple other lessons they should be able to. And then for the part 2, the choice topics, I want to answer what roles do graphic organizers play in the learning environment. I love charts and graphic organizers and all that good stuff. It's how I learned. So when I was growing up or going through school, I would make my study guides in the form of charts and connectors. I think, like I said, they're a great way to keep organized, to summarize the information, to compare things like with Venn diagrams. When I was working in the 7th grade classroom, we did a giant Venn diagram together about asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction, and just being able to say, okay, well, asexual has 1 parent and sexual has 2, and comparing those, it really helps the students draw the connections between the two, and also to memorize the differences. And I think that they can go with a lesson, so we can fill out a graphic organizer as we're doing a lesson, or we can use it as a review for that lesson, so at the end of the day do the graphic organizer, or even it can be a review for everything. So for our unit test, it's careful. You have to be careful though, because students can use those as a crutch, or they can just see like the general information that you put into the graphic organizer and not know the topic very in depth. So you just have to be mindful that, again, you're creating something that's used as an aid and not something that is necessary for the student to be able to know the information. So it's a tool. It's not a I don't know the word for it. It's just a tool. But anyways, that ends my discussion board 3. So have a great day.